Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Jason Lehman. I'm a marketing team lead here at Fishbowl Solutions, and today I'm going to be discussing Fishbowl's subscription notifier component for Oracle Web Center content. Here's our agenda for today's discussion. So I'll start off by giving a little background about Fishbowl Solutions, who we are and what we do. I'll then provide an overview of the business problems that organizations face today in regards to proactively managing the content in their organizations. I'll then provide 4 use cases for Subscription Notifier and share how organizations are currently using it. I'll then give a brief demo at the end. So who is Fishbowl Solutions? So Fishbowl Solutions is a recognized leader in the Oracle Web Center space. We've been doing this since 1999, so about 14 years experience designing, implementing, and supporting content management and portal systems to customers throughout North America and EMEA. This includes delivering value-add software components for Oracle Web Center. So if you go to our website, fishbowlsolutions.com, and you click on Web Center, you'll see a long list of value-add components that we specialize in, or that we've developed, including Subscription Notifier. Our expertise is very broad, so we have expertise in both portals and content management, enterprise information management, and business process automation. And as part of that, having that broad expertise, we've been specialized in Oracle Web Center content and portal. In fact, I believe we were the first Oracle partner, to receive that specialization for both products. A lot of customer successes across the various vertical markets. I'll share some of those successes today regarding Subscription Notifier. And our products are also award-winning. So I've listed a few of the awards that we've won over the last few years for some of our solutions for Oracle Web Center. So Fishbowl is also known for, as I mentioned, providing value-add software and services for Oracle Web Center. We're really focused right now on extending capabilities to many areas, with our current focus and differentiation being the products that you see here, including solutions for mobile content management, where we're extending Oracle Web Center capabilities to the iPhone, the iPad, and Android devices. We also have packaged offerings for enterprise portal and corporate intranets. So that package offering helps organizations build and quickly deploy their Web Center-based portal or intranet, helping organizations get those up and running very quickly. We also have products like our Google Search Appliance connector for Web Center, which brings the power of Google Search directly to Web Center. So now doing searches in Web Center-based intranets or internets, users and visitors will have that Google-like search experience across those systems. We also offer package services, offerings to help organizations upgrade to Oracle Web Center 11G. Including with that package is helping companies migrate their content, configure metadata and profiles, and support the systems going forward. So I wanted to quickly mention as well, I mentioned consulting services, or the services that we provide. That's kind of a comprehensive list here. We're a full-service Web Center partner, so we've established our roots kind of as a go-to partner for Web Center content, mostly on the document and web content management side. We've since branched out, I guess you could say, to provide services for all the Web Center content components, including document imaging and records management. Also provide services for Oracle Web Center portals, so that's not only having that Jumpstart package for a corporate intranet or enterprise portal, but also getting their portals up and running by doing deployments, implementations, so they can start using the portal capabilities that Web Center offers. And to augment these services, we've also formed some expertise around ADF and SOA, as well as BPM, really helping organizations leverage those technologies to ease their integrations and automate business processes. So a quick few moments on Fishbowl. I will now dive in and discuss the Fishbowl Subscription Notifier component. I'll start off by giving an overview, and then I'll share some use cases and customer successes. So I'm sure all of us have heard or seen statistics on how fast content is growing in organizations. Organizations today are really managing terabytes of content. But the key to managing that content is ensuring that the most relevant information gets shared with customers or prospects and partners. If we look at the example of content on a website, be it your internet or your intranet, companies like yours, continue to be challenged with knowing what content needs to be updated and by whom. And really not knowing this, the process of updating this outdated content does not get done, leading to poor site performance and adoption. So with these struggles, companies also need to provide their key stakeholders with timely content that they need to do their jobs. And a lot of times, the content that gets created in an organization is done so in somewhat of a vacuum, I guess you could say. Excuse me. Where departments are not well connected or multiple locations makes it difficult to know what high-value content is being created. So, we all have a million things to do. So without knowing that piece of content exists or collateral exists, or perhaps you were unable to find it, some of us, most of us probably will create the same asset. So there's a lot of duplication of effort, or we might even be accessing an out-of-date version. And other challenges that organizations face include not having enough forewarning and the ability to easily track when content is close to expiring or needs to be updated. And so furthermore, to that point, they're not always sure who the content owners are or the reviewers for an item, so they can't rely on a systematic process to proceed with content updates and instead perform them in really an ad hoc fashion, which leads to inefficiencies. So those are just some of the business problems that organizations face today. So as we think about those problems, let's discuss how organizations are really overcoming these issues with Subscription Notifier. So the first customer I wanted to actually profile is Fishbowl Solutions, and it really should come as no surprise because as we look to develop solutions, we have a lot of the same content management information problems that other organizations have. And so as the developer for those components, and talking to customers, we recognize some gaps in product functionality with WebCenter and the need to help companies solve their challenges as it relates to knowledge sharing. So the first Subscription Notifier use case I'm going to share with you is a few slides for web content management. So in that case, Fishbowl Solutions about 5 years ago underwent an SEO, or search engine optimization evaluation, and we made some changes to our page titles, keywords, and content on our website. We had seen a drop in page rankings over the years, which led us to seeing less and less product inquiries coming from our website. So the amount of leads we were getting was actually dropping. So we went ahead with that SEO project, and we immediately saw some positive results in terms of higher page rankings and, most importantly, more leads. Nonetheless, the ongoing issue we saw would be to ensure that the content on our website stayed fresh. So search engines all use different algorithms to determine page rank, and I'm not here to detail how they do that. But one of the considerations for page rank is how recent the content is, or when was it last posted, and therefore how fresh it is. So we wanted to ensure that going forward, our marketing team would be notified when that content was starting to get old. In our case, the team would be notified 30 days before that content was about to be, I think it's 6 months old. So we configured Subscription Notifier to schedule the removal of web content that had not been updated in over 1 year from the check-in date. So that just helps ensure that the content stays fresh on our website and that our SEO rankings stay high. So we're getting those leads that we want directly from our website. So that was just one reason we sought out to develop Subscription Notifier. We were basically having the same challenges with managing that content that you and other organizations were experiencing as well. After getting some customer feedback on some of those challenges, we developed our Subscription Notifier component. And here's a brief overview of the product before I jump into more details on the use cases. Subscription Notifier truly enables organizations to build out business rule-based content tracking and extends upon the notification of expiration features of Oracle Web Center content. These rules are easy to build using a friendly UI, and I'll show that as part of the demo later on. A part of these rules include sending those email notifications for users to review, update when new revisions have been checked in, or when content is set to expire. But Subscription Notifier is more than just that rule-based content notification system. It also has the ability to invoke what are called side effects. And one quick example to share with you about asking users to update the content, archive it, or delete it. Another example of a side effect is one that you probably have experienced, where items that you've checked in for whatever reason get stuck in gen www. Perhaps there's a problem, with refinery in most cases. So that side effect could do, you could configure subscription notifier to trigger a resubmit of that content item for check-in, which seems to alleviate the issue of it being stuck in gen www. So with that brief overview, I will now move on to discuss other use cases for the product, including contract management, policy and procedure management, and sales enablement. So again, I shared with you earlier the success of Notifier to ensure that content on our website stayed fresh and new. If we think about other or similar problems that organizations all have, part of the problems with that they experience with content on the website is making sure all the content is fresh and up to date. And if we look at the use case for web content management and start by thinking about our internet and the content on our internet, not having new content on our website that gets updated frequently could impact SEO position, and therefore the amount of leads that we get over the web. And even if someone does visit our site after doing a Google search or Bing, if they are taken to a page that is full of outdated content, most of the time you can expect that the visitor will leave. So overall, having this problem, you might experience high bounce rates. And when we take a look at internet content, the various business groups that control the content on our intranet, marketing, communications, human resources, and maybe IT, really all have a hand in contributing new content. And this distributed contribution model is a benefit as it helps share the work required to continue to add content to the internet or intranet. But similar to the internet example, visitors, or in this case employees, they're looking for fresh and new content. They don't want to visit the internet and see yesterday's lunch menu posted, or past year's benefit information, or even old pictures from past events when they maybe know that new pictures exist for more current events. So if they do, they may quickly lose interest in the internet and feel that it does not provide much value. They don't feel engaged, if you will. And they may make the decision to leave and may not come back, driving down overall adoption of the corporate intranet. So this, hurts the employee engagement at organizations, especially when you consider how much time and money companies invest in onboarding and training employees. So going forward, if those employees cannot access and view relevant, up-to-date information, their overall job satisfaction will start to go down. So in this case, for internet and intranets, how can subscription notifier help? Well, it's really quite simple. I shared this in the example when I profiled Fishbowl Solutions' use of subscription notifier for the internet. It's really a simple notification that can be created to alert content owners when content items reach a certain age or days old. This ensures that the right people are getting alerted and those people know that they're responsible to update the content. And so if we look at the benefits, this includes ensuring that content remains fresh and it keeps visitors, and be it prospects or employees, coming back. So as I stated before, it really ensures that the various groups contributing content, they don't have to spend a bunch of time visiting every page of the site to determine the pages that need to get updated. Instead, simple notifications can alert them and when updates may be necessary for the content. Okay, so moving on to our next use case, contract management. And what we hear from customers on this one is the difficulty in managing all the contracts and the renewal process, because the contracts all have different terms and expiration dates. So organizations really desire to remain proactive with negotiating contract terms, and they can't do that if the contracts expire. At that time, the vendor has all the leverage. So any hope of negotiating a better rate or term is probably lost. And Subscription Notifier can help with this use case by notifying the contract owners at various intervals, say 90, 60, and 30 days before the expiration. And in doing that, they can take the necessary steps to renegotiate. Furthermore, if you really think about the notifications, they really ensure that visibility into that contract management process overall by ensuring that the right people are notified for only the contracts they manage, eliminating any doubt or confusion or time wasted determining who is managing specific contracts. And the benefits of this all include, quite simply, the ability to leverage and renegotiate early in the process. If companies are able to do that and can start the conversation around we've been a customer for 9 months. We've been very prompt with payment. We'd like to extend our contract. This all provides the opportunity for better rates and terms. Not having that ability and letting the contract expire can only lead to higher rates and fees, and the inability to work with a preferred vendor, which could increase the overall risk to an organization. So, and HCMC, or Hennepin County Medical Center of Minnesota, is having success with Subscription Notifier and the management of their contracts. So HCMC is a large hospital. They manage many different contracts, including food service, medical supplies, and many others. They were having difficulty proactively managing all these contracts, and in some cases, their contracts were expiring. So they wanted to be able to notify contract managers ahead of those expiration dates, while providing the users with quick and easy access to the contracts they manage. And furthermore, they wanted the ability to include, instructions for those contract managers, if necessary, to if they needed to take specific actions for a contract when that was required. So HCMC deployed Subscription Notifier to help them better manage their contracts and instead extend upon WebCenter's notification of expiration feature, which HCMC had been using before. Now, with Subscription Notifier, rules have been created to notify contract management owners at 90, 60, and 30 days. So they really have enough time now to renegotiate. So if you look at their solution overall with WebCenter Content and Subscription Notifier, those products have come together to really provide HCMC with a streamlined contract management system that has helped them lower their rates overall. The next use case is for policy and procedure management. So for this use case, companies were looking for ways to automate content reviews based on the document type or period. With many different policies and procedures that an organization might have, they're really created to ensure business continuity and reduce that level of risk. But the management, again, of all these policies and procedures can be quite daunting, especially when you consider that each has its own expiration period, review cycle, and any additional actions to complete. Subscription Notifier can be configured for this use case to establish review cycles based on the document type. So, for example, again, a standard operating procedure, or SOP, would have a different review cycle than perhaps an emergency evacuation. And if after going through a final review and release, a side effect that we talked a little bit about earlier could be created or configured to change the security on a content item to prevent any further updates or modifications. In doing that, that would help ensure that the final document is shared and referenced. And lastly, depending on the document type, multiple notification periods can be established, even down to the days before review or expiration. So another customer success that we want to profile here for this use case, Navtech, who develops navigation and location-based services, they basically have map navigation to really power automotive navigation, portable devices, and internet-based map applications. So like many companies, Navtech has disaster recovery plans in place in case of natural disasters and the like. And in their case, they had over 150 different plans, making the overall management time-consuming and tedious. They really wanted to establish a review cycle based on document type for their different plans. And in establishing that, also establish a multiple review process across their different departments, and then alert the content owners or contributors via email. So since they've implemented Subscription Notifier for Oracle Web Center, Navtech has been able to automate their plan review process. And this has really allowed them to manage hundreds of plans with just a few subscriptions. This time savings alone has been the biggest benefit. But they've also been able to reduce risk, which is very important as well, by ensuring that plans that have went through that final review no longer can be modified. And lastly, with some of the features of Subscription Notifier, they can ensure that action is taken by configuring alerts all the way down to the 24th hour. So the last use case I'd like to share for Subscription Notifier is sales enablement. And so even though the sales and marketing teams usually work fairly closely together in most organizations, there's sometimes a disconnect or lack of visibility into the content available to help the sales team sell. So what you see is the sales team not always knowing what marketing assets are available. So they might create their own. They might create their own brochure, presentation, or they might reference content that's been out of date or that's out of date and include inaccurate information as they share that with customers or prospects. Really, this all leads to wasted time, and the sharing of inaccurate information, that could potentially result in a lost relationship or opportunity. So really keeping the sales force or other key stakeholders apprised of the content that marketing is putting out, again through simple notifications or alerts, can alleviate these issues. So in this case, Subscription Notifier could be configured to automatically generate lists of content and email them based on business rules. So for that example, when a product brochure has been created or revised, the name of that brochure and a link to the asset could be sent to the sales team. And really, this type of proactive notification helps ensure that marketing content, which in most cases is of extremely high value in disseminating information about company products and services to customers, is being seen and used by the appropriate people, in this case the sales force. It also ensures that the most accurate and up-to-date content is always being referenced. And Fishbowl Solutions is using this capability of Subscription Notifier as well. With Fishbowl's marketing team, it's no different. We create a lot of different marketing assets, but not having an automatic way to announce them to the sales team was causing that duplication of effort. Sales reps were creating their own versions of content, but most importantly, a lot of the content being created was known about and was not known about, and therefore not being shared with customers and prospects. And if it's not being shared, then it's not able to help drive demand. And so in this case, Subscription Notifier was configured at Fishbowl Solutions to send email notifications to team members when new or updated content was being checked in or revised. This has helped provide more visibility into the overall content creation process and reduce that duplication of effort. And it's been pretty neat to watch as well. So these simple notifications have been quite timely many times. We've had numerous instances or examples where a marketing asset had been checked in and a sales rep sees that, and it immediately triggers a discussion that they had with the customer or prospect, and maybe they now have another tool that they can go back to them with and help drive that discussion forward. So I wanted to include a simple screenshot of what such content release notifications look like. As you can see from this sample email, I, in this case, was sent an email with a list of recently checked in content items. This email includes the title of those assets, a link to the asset, which is in the content server, and the asset's content ID. So this is just a sample. This template can be modified as well. Also wanted to share some additional features of Subscription Notifier, which are listed here. As one of our most popular value-add components for WebCenter, we continue to add new features and functionality to meet those ever-expanding use cases above and beyond what I shared with you today. I talked a little bit about granular notification schedules earlier. This would include like the ability to send notifications at 3 days before, 2 days before, even 1 day before review or expiration. And Subscription Notifier is quite configurable, so it allows the ability to notify different lists of users on different schedules for the same content. So for that example, a manager could be alerted 60 days out so that they can take note and remind their teams that this is up, this is coming up, needs to be revised or changed, and then that actual account owner could be alerted 30 days out, or content owner, I guess you could say. So I talked a little bit about Subscription Notifier and its powerful side effects capabilities as well, including the ability to undo the checkout of a content item that's been checked out for an extensive amount of time. It also has the ability to update an external database and its ability to send email notifications for items still in workflow. So all these features, they're all configurable. They're all included in Subscription Notifier. And so just for comparison's sake, I also wanted to share how Subscription Notifier and its features help fill the notification and some of those subscription gaps within WebCenter. As you can see here, Subscription Notifier is the only notification and subscription product for WebCenter that includes the ability to do all these things listed on the left: notify users of new content, consolidate email notifications, notify users when content is set to expire. Again, all these features listed on the left, they're all included in Subscription Notifier, and they're not available with the out-of-the-box subscriptions and notification of expirations within WebCenter. So I'm going to move on to a demo. So I'm going to jump from the presentation over to a demo. Here's the screen, first screen that you would see. This would list out all the subscriptions that you've built out, subscription notifications that you've built out. And this is a list of all Fishbowl subscriptions. So if I want to add a new subscription, I just simply click on Add Subscription. And I'm taken to the interface where I can enter my settings for the subscription. So I'm going to kind of work from left to right and top down. The first section up here, enabled, true or false. If it's set to true, that means the system will always send emails. For send always. So if it's set to false, for example, in this example, that means that the system will only send emails for that content that's been changed or revised. So for example, if I have a brochure, I check that in. My sales team is going to get that initial notification that a new brochure exists. They would only receive another email for that particular brochure if that brochure changes or has been revised after that initial notification. If it's set to true, it'll send notifications for all content. So for example, if it's a contract and you're the contract owner for a bunch of contracts, it'll send you notifications. It'll send notification emails for all that content, and it doesn't matter if it's been changed or revised. So that way you're alerted, as we talked about, in 30 or 60 days before the contract comes due. I can give my subscription a name. So for this example, I'll just say new product brochure. I can have a subject line. I can change that as well. I'll just say new brochure. This section here is for scheduling, so I can schedule these notifications to go out daily, weekly, periodically. In a lot of cases, our customers choose to send these notifications out kind of after hours. So the notifications go out, later in the evening or at midnight, and that way as well, that'll be kind of the first email or one of the first emails users would see when they get into the office. I can also set the emails to be high priority. The email from address, so I can choose who is listed as the sender. For this example, I'll just choose myself. And then users to notify, so this can be individual or groups or aliases. So for this case, kind of following off our example about sales enablement, if I'm on the marketing team and I create some content and I want to alert my sales force or a group of people, I could select the Fishbowl team, which the sales force would be a part of, and then all three or all of them would get the emails from that subscription. And then I have an email template. So out of the box, Subscription Notifier comes with some templates. We're just going to use the default for this one, but this can be customized as well. And then subscription query. So for this, the true power of Subscription Notifier is the ability to really build out some powerful queries. We include some examples here. For example, a 30-day warning for documents that need to be reviewed but have not been updated. And if I wanted to add that to the query, I'd just say copy to query and it'll put it in this box right here. It's very simple. I'll actually take that one out because I also wanted to show that you could have subscriptions for document based on document type. So for this example, I'll have ddoc type equals brochure. And then I just simply add that to my query. I also mentioned side effects. So you can have the side effects here. I mentioned side effects for updating the external database, updating metadata, checking out a content item and checking it back in. So those are all listed here as well. So one of the last things I can do before I save this subscription is preview what my email will look like. So on the bottom here, I can just say preview email, and here's a screen that would be included in the email that a user would see. So a list of the content that would match that subscription query. And that's really about it. So the last step is I save my subscription, and then I can go on to build from here. But again, very easy to follow, very intuitive user interface. We also include help tips, so I want to mention that as well. So if I hover over any of the areas that have a question, little question icon, it'll give an explanation of what that particular setting is for. So that's the user interface for Subscription Notifier. Jump back to my PowerPoint. So to kind of summarize now, we really wanted viewers, listeners to come away with this webinar with an understanding that Subscription Notifier is a simple yet powerful notification and subscription component for WebCenter that supports multiple use cases, and it's multiple use cases for really proactive content management. Subscription Notifier can help organizations keep their content fresh and new and provide visibility into the overall content creation process. It also includes side effects capabilities to trigger workflows, change security, and update external databases. So really overall, Subscription Notifier can help organizations that are using notification of expiration and help them realize additional value of email-based notifications based on simple business rules. I wanted to mention that this webinar that you're viewing is first in the series of webinars that we'll be running throughout the rest of the summer. The next two are listed here. You can go to the link at the bottom to register for those webinars, and you should also receive email invites for that as well. If you're looking for any more information on Subscription Notifier or any of Fishbowl's value-add software and service for Oracle Web Center content, I've included some links here that you could go to, or you can send us an email at info@fishbowlsolutions.com or call us directly at 952-465-3400. With that, I'm going to close the webinar. I want to thank you for attending and viewing this webinar on Subscription Notifier for Oracle Web Center content. Thank you.